Hello guys, it's nice to have you back. This is Benga from RGD Technologies. This is part 6 of the series of this QuickBooks desktop video, and today we will be focusing on preferences. We find this by going to edit menu. We'll come down to preferences. Basically, preferences in QuickBooks Desktop is what enables us to set up the entire working environment of our QuickBooks Desktop, how we want it to work. This is what we set up in preferences. Preferences will be broken down into further videos because of the length. So this is part 1A, preferences. So let's move on. This is our preference tab. The first on the list is accounting. If we look at the right, we will say my preference, we say company preference. So for accounting, we'll be setting up the company preference. Now, account, use account number. For each account created in desktop, we have account numbers, which is the unique identifier of each account as it relates to transaction. For those of us that are accountants, we know that account rolls up into classification, expenses, overheads, and the like of it. So each of these classification, we have a unique number and then subsequent number. So if we are to use the number, we click on it, use account number. Now, show lower sub account only. If we want that means the primary account will not be shown, but the sub account numbers will be shown. So let's leave it at this. Then we have class, use class tracking for transaction. For class, that means if we have two businesses in this particular business, maybe we have two branches, for instance, so we are going to divide the branches of the businesses as classes, so we can have as more classes as the branches of our business continue to go, so that we can group transactions according to class that the transaction belongs. So use class transaction, yes, ticked. Now automatically assign general journal entry number, yes. One when posting a transaction or retained earning, yes, that's ticked. Now date warning, one if transactions are 90 days in the past, one if transactions are 30 days in the future. This is very relevant, especially when we have payments that we're expecting in 30 days time, or payments that we're expecting to make before or on 30-day interval. So this will give us a reminder on that. So that is what accounting does. That is what the settings we can do on accounting. Next, on the bar, of course, for any changes we do, we'll be asked to save. You made changes in accounting preference. Do you wish to save them? We say yes if we wish to save them. If we don't wish to save them, we say no. I say no from my end, since this business already has a setup that we'll use for subsequent training. Alright, the next item is benefit and HR. Benefits and HR, that is human resources. So my preference, no. Company preference, yes. Now workers compensation, track workers compensation, tick. Display message to assign cloud, exclude overtime premium from workers compensation calculation if we want to exclude overtime. If not, we leave it so that it can be accounted for. After that, we have bills that we have to pay to our vendors. So here we have entering bills. Bills are due. This is where we get to specify where bills are due from. This we can also specify when we are creating a particular vendor, because our due date for vendors may vary depending on the negotiation we have with the vendor, but this is like a general due date. So bills are due in 10 days time. Then paying bill, automatically use credit. If you want to use credit, that is, if we have credit that we have given to the customer and want to use the credit to pay, automatically, this is where we check it. Automatically use discount. If we want to automatically discount should be accounted for, this is where we tick it. But if you want to be doing this manually, we won't tick this at this preference, so it will not be done automatically, but we have to do it manually when we are dealing with each vendor. Next is calendar. So for calendar, we do my preference. We have calendar view, remember last view, weekly view, show. Now upcoming and payment dues, display them, that is to show them. Upcoming data, show 7 days in advance. Past due data, show 60 days once it is passed. So we set the calendar here. Next after calendar is check-in. So select default accounting to use. So open the right check, yes, from checking account. Open payment bill form with checking account. Open pay sales tax form with checking account. For those of us that are accountants, we know very well that a checking account will be created, and this will account for changes as it's coming up. So we can actually record a change here in the checking account that provides a check. Then if we need to move that to other accounts to be specific, we also do the movements. Then under checking, we have company preference as well. What is our company preference? To print account names on voucher, to change check date when non-cleared checks is printed, to start with payee field on check, one about duplicate check numbers, which we have ticked, very important, or to fill payee account numbers in check memo if we want to do that. Open or create paycheck, that is select default account to use. So do we want to use a default account? This is where we'll do the selection. If we don't want to use a default account, which is the checking account, but want to be specific in the account, we come and choose it here, the particular account we want to be specific on. Now we get there. So that is it with the checking. If we look down, we have our bank feed as well. View and enter downloaded transaction using, here we choose express mode to be done immediately. Create rules automatically, always has before creating rules. So that is our checking, which primary focus is on the checking account. Next on our preference is our desktop view. For company preference, we have select the feature that you want to show on the home page. So here we have sales receipts, statement and statement changes. That's for our customers. For our vendors, we have enter bill and payment bill, which has been embossed. That means mandatory. We have no option. We can't change this. It has to remain like that. Then we have some other features that we can learn how to update. Like how do I remove this feature icon from the home page? We can get a link there. If we click on it, it will take us to QuickBook help dialog box where we can type any question that we want QuickBook to assist us on, and QuickBook will provide us with a navigation to follow in order to resolve the problem. It can even take us online to get solution that we want. Of course, for desktop view, we can also come to my preference, which we can choose either we want one window at a time. Here, multiple windows selected, so we can open multiple windows and we can adjust windows, which is the best option. Now for our desktop, we have save when closing company. Transaction should be saved automatically. That is what we are telling QuickBook to do, which is selected. Now show home page when opening a company file. That is the home page that we see. That is what will come on. That is this home page that we can see here, this home page. So once we open our desktop in QuickBooks, that is what will appear. That is our home page. We can go further to do some further window settings here if we like, but for standard, this is okay for our desktop view setting. So guys, I would like us to stop here as part 1 on preferences. So that is preferences video 6a. Guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe and follow up, as we'll be looking forward to part 6b, still on preferences.